It's deja vu all over again as the market retests the pivot, and so far the bulls continue to hold. This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's overnights, the market came down to test the lower end of the pivot, and the bulls bounced it up out of there. However, they were unable to follow through on that rally, and another sell-off ensued, testing the bottom of the pivot again. The bulls have again bounced it up out of there, and now their backs are against the wall as there isn't much room below them. I'll get into all that in just 1 second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, so they gave a double test of the pivot, and the bulls have held both times. We are in a bounce right now that's about 3 waves, so let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1-hour futures chart for the S&P 500, and it's going to be very similar to yesterday's analysis as we have held the low and we have started a rally up. And now we are looking at a few different scenarios. The primary count is that we are going to rally up off this low toward this wave 5 up around 4640 to 4660. Okay, to complete wave 3, then see a 4-5 up from there. Now, if we zoom in on this into the 1-minute chart, you'll be able to see a 3-wave move up here. So the bulls still have work to do to get a 5-wave move up in this rally, and then they need to hold a low and make another high to get a really good move up off of this low here started. There is some good news for the bulls. On the daily chart, we do have a bottoming signal, and while those can be a couple days early, they do tend to produce 200 to 300 point rallies at a minimum, and very often bigger rallies than that. So we do have a daily bottoming signal coming in. We need to see a confirmation of this reversal before we get too heavily involved with that. So we want to see a move up in 5 waves, a pullback hold, and then a move up and take out that high. And we have confirmation that that bottoming signal has likely taken place. And we would look for that move right up here to that 4,600 level. And coincidentally, a 200 to 300 point move from where we are right now is going to put us right up in our range for our wave 5. So that is the good news for the bulls. The bad news for the bulls is they are up against the wall of the pivot. They really have no room for error here. They could, I guess, potentially bring it down and make it a few points lower and still hold the pivot. And, you know, benefit of the doubt on the pivot. If it breaks it by a couple pennies or a couple points, that's not the end of the world, but you would really, really, really like to see the pivot hold. So the good news for the bulls is they did hold the pivot again, and they're starting to rally. They do have a bottoming signal coming in, but they still have work to do to create a 5-wave move up, a 3-wave pullback, and then another move up to kind of confirm that we've got our bottom in place, and we're looking at that rally up toward our wave 3 target here. So what happens if the pivot breaks? Okay, there are 2 scenarios to the downside. All right, there is the scenario where we go down to 4,000 and make a new low, and there is the wave 2 scenario. Now, originally, our move down to 4,000 was our primary count if we break the pivot. However, with that bottoming signal coming in, it makes it a little bit unlikely that we're going to move down 400 points against that signal, as they're pretty reliable. While they can be a bit early and you can see some more downside before it reverses, it shouldn't be 400 points of downside before we see a pretty strong reversal. So the wave 2 scenario is kind of moving up to the front because of that. Whereas this would be all of wave 1 up, and even though it's not the height you would like it to be, you would like it to extend to the 2.0. It can be counted as a valid wave 1. So in that scenario, this would be all of wave 1, and then you would look for wave 2 to bottom around 4,300 to 4,325, okay, and then start the move back up from there in wave 3. This actually lines up with the NASDAQ count pretty well, so I'm actually looking at this scenario as the first possibility if we break the pivot, and then the lower low as the second alternate count based on that daily bottoming signal. As I said, when we get those, we can move down more before it reverses, but you generally see a 200 to 300 point reversal at a minimum. Okay, and very often you can see 500 to 700 point reversals off of those kind of signals. So with that information, expecting a rally either immediately right here as we move up, or we pull back and then rally. Okay, I'm not expecting this to completely collapse down and make a new low as the first alternate count. Can it happen? Absolutely. Of course it can. But it just becomes a little bit less likely because of that signal that we're getting that says we should have a pretty strong reversal in the future here. So again, we're watching the move off of this low. The bulls have some work to do to complete a 5-wave structure up. Then they need to hold a 3-wave structure back, then take out that 5-wave structure up, and that's a pretty strong confirmation that the rally has started, and we're going up towards this wave 5 around 4640 to 4660. Okay, if the pivot breaks, then we're looking for a wave 2 scenario around 4325 to 4300. hold there and reverse and bounce up in wave 1 of 3. Okay, so over on the NASDAQ, we also got the same rally and failure in the NASDAQ, and it came back and just about got to the 618 support, which is a very common target for wave 2, and it has started rallying as well. So there is potential for the rally to be on right now. Again, the bulls have a lot of work to do to make that happen. But once we get that confirmation along with that bottoming signal, then it's very likely we're heading up as well in the NASDAQ. So our support levels on the NASDAQ are 13,832 and 13,492. It's very possible we could visit this if the pivot breaks on the ES as the bottom for wave 2 on the NASDAQ, and then the ES can match up with it in its wave 2, and we can start moving up in wave 1 of 3. Guys, if you like the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com, okay? There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It will take you right over to the website. Once you get there, check out our membership plans. We have 2 amazing plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there, test it out, make sure you love it before you ever spend a penny, okay? I treat my traders like my family. I take care of them. I answer all of their questions. I'm in there all day giving real-time market updates so that they know what's going on at all times. We have 2 incredible rooms. The first one is my Invest with Jacob room. In there, you get my real-time market updates, my buy and sell alerts, as well as all of your Elliott Wave questions answered. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing trade, which means our trades last anywhere from a few days to a few months, which is less than a day trading room trades. However, if you are looking for a day trading room as well as individual stocks, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get day trading as well as individual stocks and his reduced risk binary trading method. When he introduced it to me, I was blown away by it. It is absolutely incredible. It is so powerful. You need to see it to believe it. It is a very awesome tool for trading the market. The guy is one of the best traders I've ever been around, and he absolutely crushes it in there. So we would love to have you in there, guys. Come be part of the team, and let's make some money together. Okay, guys, key takeaways for today. The bulls, once again, are in focus. They have to hold the pivot. So far, so good. They're pushing it up. They need to complete a 5-wave rally up, a 3-wave pullback, and then take out that 5-wave rally high to give us a strong feeling that the rally is on and we're heading up towards that 4640 to 4660 region. However, if the pivot breaks and they pull back, then we are looking at a wave 2 scenario in the 4300 to 4325 area. And if that fails, then we are looking at making new lows around the 4000 area. Over on the NASDAQ, we're looking for a bottom in wave 2. Okay, our support levels are 13,832 and 13,492. If this rally continues in 5 waves and then gets a 3-wave pullback, followed by another rally that takes out that high, then we can start to look as the bottom being in of wave 2 and the start of wave 1 of 3 up. However, we could see a lower low here down to as low as 13,492 for wave 2 on the NASDAQ. All right, guys, that is the market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.